How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about a SPAC that was just announced that is about half the price of Lucid, but already has a significant amount of revenue. And they are an EV competitor. They already have ties in the car industry and have distribution. I want to talk to you about it here today and how to best play that stock right now. So if you guys don't mind, hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. It helps out the channel. Also, hit subscribe too. I come once a week to the TipRanks channel, so definitely follow along, subscribe to the channel. They have a lot of great videos that are coming out. I just come once a week. And if you guys want an unfair advantage with TipRanks Premium, you can check out the link down below. We can see Lucid Motors here pumped up just about a day ago. We saw it go from $24 all the way up to $27, $28. So we saw about a 10-20% move from Lucid. And the market cap right now is around 41 billion. So this is a big move. So why did this happen? Well, Lucid moved because they're going to start production the week of September 27. And the EPA has confirmed that the Air Dream Edition is the longest range electric car with 520 miles. So a lot of people are excited about that. Now, the reason I bring this company up to you is because it is eerily similar to another company. They're both in the high-end EV market. This is GGPI stock. Now, you can see there's not much on it yet on TipRanks because it was just announced. They had their DA. They announced that they are going to be merging with Polestar. Now, you might not have heard about this company yet, but they already have significant production throughout the world. They're already a competitor in the world with what they're expecting to be over $1 billion worth of revenue this year. So I actually talked about this on my channel several months ago and actually bought a position. Now, I just want to give that for full disclosure, but let's take a look at the company here. So GGPI comes from Gores Holdings. So far, Gores Holding has already done several really popular SPACs and really successful SPACs. You can see Hostess, Luminar, United Wholesale Mortgage, Matterport, a lot of big names that a lot of retail investors definitely know. So you can see that they have actually been partners with Volvo for a while. The two people that are running the company came from Volvo also, developed and sold performance software to Volvo, official performance partner to Volvo, leveraging Volvo Cars infrastructure. They are very closely tied to Volvo, which gives them a lot of good distribution. You can see Polestar, Polestar 2, they both have these already in production. The price for the Polestar 1 is about 155,000, so very high end. Then we have the Polestar 2, which is 50 to 60,000. So this actually undercuts the Tesla's bigger version of their car. I think it's the X or the Y, I can't remember, but it's the Tesla that is the crossover with the gull-wing doors. So it does undercut them a little bit. You can see the range though on the Polestar 1 is only 120 kilometers, which is really short, especially for something so expensive. So they actually say on one of their slides too, they don't really expect to sell many of the Polestar ones moving forward. But you can see some of the revenue here. They're expecting $1.6 billion worth of revenue this year. Then they're expecting this to double and then about double again and continue doubling into the future up until 2025, where it goes up about 4 or 5 billion. So they are expecting to grow quite quickly. Now, this is very similar to what Lucid says. However, Lucid only starts at about $97 million worth of revenue for 2021. So it's significantly lower than what Polestar is expecting, but then they expect to ramp up and do about the same amount of revenue moving forward. But the really interesting part about Polestar is the fact that it's costing about half as much as Lucid. If you remember when Lucid was announced, it pushed up. It was really expensive before they announced. I think it was right around $60, and this was pre-announcement, so it was just an insane value. So many people wanted in on it, and then it dumped on the announcement because it got valued so much higher than people were expecting. You can see the pro forma fully diluted enterprise value of $20 billion. This is just 1.5x 2024 revenue. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still really expensive. This is still really expensive compared to other car makers. You have to realize $20 billion when they're doing just $1 billion, $2 billion worth of revenue. That's expensive. But you have to look at it compared to other EV cars. Now, a lot of people would say, hey, Tesla is still in a league of its own because they're not just cars. They're doing so much more. All these companies are scrambling just to do cars, and Tesla is on a whole different wavelength in what they're trying to do. So that's something to consider too. But if you're looking for an EV competitor, Polestar is pretty cheap compared to something like Lucid. Now, Volvo's Polestar 2 outsold Tesla Model 3 in Sweden last year. So you get little news articles like this. They can bring more attention to Polestar with revenue of about 600 million last year and a compelling product portfolio. The EV manufacturer Polestar is a definitive buy should it merge with SPAC Gores Guggenheim. So they say here $600 million in revenue last year. So even if they don't hit 1.6 billion this year, they're still going to be hopefully right around $1 billion worth of revenue, which is significantly about 10 times more than what Lucid expected this year. Now again, you can kind of take a look at Lucid's numbers here. They're expecting 2.2 billion by next year. That is a large increase, and they're definitely going to have to overcome some things too, building factories, whether it's distribution, whether it's, all types of things like that, name recognition. So they've already gone over some of those things because they're already doing nearly $1 billion worth of revenue compared to Lucid, which still has to make a name for itself because really they are far away from where they need to be. Now, it's going to be a few years for either of these companies to actually become profitable. Take that into account too. So the question is now the time to buy? Is now the time to buy GGPI because it's only around $10. Let me explain what I did, and then I'll explain what I think about it now. So GGPI was around $9.70 just a couple days ago, like a week or two ago, when they weren't announced yet. I was holding GGPI a significant amount to decrease my downside and still have some exposure to the market. So a lot of the times with these SPACs, I'll hear that they're supposed to merge with some cool company, some company that I think will do well when they actually announce. So they pump up when that rumor comes out. I actually I think I started buying around $10.30, but then I averaged down a lot. When it started to fall down into the 970s, I averaged down a lot. And I hold these because if they announce, they are going to go up, right? They're still going to go up to $10.50 or so, maybe $11. But there's significant downside protection because of the fact that they're near net asset value around $10. They allow me to have exposure to the market, but if the market keeps on falling, like we've seen over the last week or so, I can sell out of that and I can put in something else. So you have to realize that is one way to play it. That's way that I have been playing this and a few other SPACs in the past, and it's worked out well every single time that I've done it. But the question is now, they've already announced. So do you buy it now at $10.24? Well, I think if you like the company, if you like the numbers, I don't think you can go wrong. But I think you could probably get a better price. Now, this is coming over from the SPAC investor. He's someone that I follow. And this is something that I basically told my Patreon members before this even came out. I sold half of my Polestar when they announced. It was at $10.50. A lot of people were asking, why are you selling? Do you not feel good about the company or the deal? Because it only went up, 6, 7, 8% when I sold half of it. And that's not my problem. So I've been noticing this. This is, like I said, coming from the SPAC investor. Price at DA. It pumps up. All these different SPACs pump up on definitive agreement. And then afterwards, they start slowly trickling down. And you can see price at 5 days after DA and price at 30 days after DA. It keeps on falling from 11.10 to 10.60 to 10.40. And it keeps on falling, but then it pumps up right when they're merging or right before they merge. So I sold half of it. If I want to, I might buy back in if it falls enough a little bit before they actually merge. But I still have a large amount of money in it. It's like one of my top 10 stocks probably. Now might not be the best time, but put it on your watch list and just pay attention to it. If it starts falling even more, it might be a good time to buy in because you have to realize Lucid is around $41 billion and they're doing 1/10, 1/20th the revenue of Polestar this year. Now, they might have a better product in the end, but this might be a nice little short-term play. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an analyst, nothing like that. I just come here once a week. So definitely do your own research. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the link down below to my channel if you want. And also you can check out the link underneath the video to get that TipRanks premium. Or if you like anything else in this video from TipRanks, I'll link it down below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.